Welcome everyone to another chess video. In this video, I'm going to teach you guys how to checkmate with 2 rooks against 1 king. So here I've left out the black king because it's not needed when you're doing this checkmate. So we have the 2 rooks against the white king here. So what we want to make sure is that our 2 rooks are on different ranks. So this one's on the first rank, this one's on the second rank. And we're trying to chase the king to one of these places, either the A file, the H file, the 8th rank, or the first rank. So, say the king is starting here. Let's chase it to the H file, sorry, and we'll see how that happens. So we start checking with our rooks, but not aimlessly. With white to move, they want to get off these places that I just mentioned because that's where the checkmate happens. So say they play king b7. Then we start checking, not aimlessly, making sure our kings are on different ranks, sorry, and so we start checking. Rook b2 check. So if the king were to move back to the A file, then we would end it early with rook to A1 checkmate, because this file is guarded by this rook, and this file is guarded by that rook. So that would end it early. So if you're playing a smart player, they're going to try to get to the middle of the board, and they're also going to try to get closer to your rooks so they can be attacked. So once you play rook b2 check, they're going to try to get closer to your rooks. Then we're going to play rook c1 check, and now these 2 files are taken away from the king, and now he's going to have to move to the d file. So he gets to the middle of the board, d5, then rook d2 check. Now these 2 files are taken away from the king, and we're progressively taking files until we reach the h file. So he's going to try to get closer to our rooks, rook e1 check. Now the d file and e file are not allowed for the king, so king f3. So obviously don't play rook f2 check for your fun. King captures on f2 is a blunder. You can checkmate with a rook and a king, but that's not what this video is all about. So don't play rook f2 question mark or blunder. As soon as they play king f3, getting close to your rooks, all you need to do is slide your rook that's closest to the king all the way up. So rook e8. This file is now still prevented by the king, by the rook. So now the king has to either stay on the f file or the g file, or move to the g file. So he doesn't want to get closer to the h file, so he plays maybe king f4. So then we can do the same thing as we did before. Now we can play rook f2 check. Now this file is guarded by the f rook, and this file is guarded by the e rook. Can't move here, but it can move to attack your king. What do we do when the rook is being attacked by the king? We slide it all the way across the board. Rook f7. So now this file is prevented by that rook, and this file is prevented by that one. Not that the king can even go there, but so the king wants to stay on the g file and get close to our rooks. So king g4. Then we do the same thing as before. Rook g8 check. Now this file and this file are again blocked. Yada yada yada. So the king must move to the h file, and then king h5 and rook h7 checkmate. And that is how to checkmate with 2 rooks against a king. As I just told you, you do not need to have the king to be able to do this. So let's recap. Okay, so king b6. And as I showed you before, if we played that and he played king a7, then we would play check immediately. But we're going to not do that. We're going to enter this bracket. He's going to move aside. So we play rook c1, getting the king now, forcing him to move to the d file. He moves to the d file, getting closer to rooks, and then rook d2 check. And then he's forced to the e file. He's going to get closer to our rooks, rook e1 check, and now he's forced on the f file. Don't play rook f2 check, as I said, that would be a blunder. So we actually play rook e8. So after king f3, rook e8, then the king might start chasing you, although it's really nonsensical. Most players at my level here would just resign, but this is how to checkmate. Okay, so king f4, rook f2 check. Now the e and f files are both blocked by the by the rooks, and so he must move to the g file. Attacks our rook, we simply slide our rook all the way, remembering to keep our rooks on different ranks or files. So now we have it on the 8th and 7th ranks. The king now should probably stay on the g file to prolong it to the most, and stays on the g file, king g4. So then we have rook g8, check. The king must move to the h file, and it's not close enough to attack our rooks. So then we simply have to play rook h7, checkmate. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. That is how to checkmate with 2 rooks. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.